Thank you so much. I think the introduction was well done. So how do we become bankable? That's the question for this afternoon. Okay, we are in business. But from my earlier introduction, I indicated that the main issue that we have in SMEs and MSMEs is informality. And as long as we remain informal, that means we are not bankable. So as a bank, our main concentration is to ensure that our clients who are in business are bankable. The main and the first move of a good business is to ensure that you are registered. Kindly make an effort and register yourself. With that, you're legally in business. With that, we are able to recognize you as a business. Whether you're selling eggs by the roadside, whether you're selling vegetables in a market, ensure that you're registered. Then once you're registered and you open your stall for the daily business, kindly ensure that you're able to maintain a history. You have a record of what you do in daily basis. Banking is about history. When I meet you as a business that is a business, for example, I need to review and see what you normally do through the records that you've maintained so far. That means you're able to access finances. You are able to be considered for any opportunities. Kindly ensure that you also pay your taxes, so you must ensure that you have a PIN. As a bank, we are committed to work in line with the government, so we ensure that you're aligned as per the requirements of the government. Then, thirdly, ensure that you have all the business licenses that are required when a business is running, because once that comes up, then we have to review the whole process. Then after that, come to us. But before that, if you're not at that level, still we can bank you and take you through the process. As ECOBANK, we have ECOBANK Academy, where we run incubation of businesses that are starting up to guide you through. We ensure that we assign you a relationship manager who will walk you through the journey, from the setup to the running of the business, including succession and any legal issues that might come up. Thank you.
That is beautifully said. And like I said, there's something you have mentioned there that I love. And that's why I'm calling the other banker from Cooperative Bank. Peter, where are you? You need to join this panel because you also need to tell us if... Thank you. Thank you. Peter is joining us because the banking situation is very, very important. Hii maneno ya pesa, we must be able to understand. I loved what you had said earlier, especially when you say that you don't need to be selling something that is so big. You also said earlier that you are very female-oriented. I would definitely, before he comes in, want to know how female-focused are you exactly?
Thank you so much. We said, earlier I said that 70 to 80% of businesses are SMEs or MSMEs. In this percentage, half of it are businesses being run by women. As ECOBANK, we've recognized that space and the women that are playing in that space. So we have a special product that speaks to ladies in business. We call it Elevate, because we appreciate that so far you've walked the journey. But once we meet you at any point as ECOBANK, we want to take you to the next level. So we run a product called Elevate. So as a lady in business and banking with us under Elevate, what are the benefits? Briefly. So once there are so many concessions when it comes to ladies in business. Know that we don't have concessions for men in business, but in particular for ladies, that is our interest at the moment. So what we have, your interest rate is not the same as the normal commercial facilities. That is first. Then secondly, as ladies, we are not privileged most of the time to have securities. So we do consider ladies in business who require finances, but they don't have security at that point. Then most of us ladies, when we are running business, it's very hard for us to distinguish between business and family. So we align and give special lines to be able to have your banking line running at the same time you maintain your business line. That is now as far as banking is concerned. So come to ECOBANK, we have a stall there. We can be able to share more. But we have Elevate, meant for women, And when I'm talking about women, it's women who are in business as the owners of the business. We have businesses being run by men, but they're dealing with lady products. That's still an elevate. Then we have businesses that most of the employees are women. That is still elevate. So welcome to the stall for more discussions.
Thank you so much, Violet. You couldn't have put it better. I'm happy because it means that when they come out there, they can be able to talk to you. And as we get elevated, because I called Peter, banking is a business that all of you are in it, but all of you have products that we probably would be able, to tap into. One thing about Peter that he said, which I loved, is that the loans that you take, the loan, what is it for? Kununua kale kagari mpya yenye you don't need, ama that dress that you saw ile soft life, or are you getting something out of this? Because everybody tells you, I want a loan. Na ukitapewa, so I would need you, because we said bankable. How about these loans? Please explain it a lot better for us now.
Okay, thank you very much. I think in addition to what we said in the morning, and even before I go to your question, is to say that banking is all about relationship. And I think any time that I meet a customer, I want to know them better. And we normally say that a customer relationship should be the doctor-patient relationship, so that I am able to understand your need and I'm able to prescribe to you a solution that is relevant and it's going to help you. And so even as we do the banking, even as we talk about transacting with us, let us have that close relationship with our business bankers or our branch managers so that they are able to understand their needs. Number two is for us to disclose all the details around our needs so that then as a banker or as a manager, I'm able to tell you or guide you on what solutions you want to take. If you bank very, very well with us, from where we sit, we have what we call unsecured loan facilities. I know I did not say this, but I know we have unsecured loan facilities of up to 10 million that you're able to access very, very easily. But again, it depends with your bankings and the need and the purpose that you have. The other thing I also want to add is on the mobile loan facilities. Our current loan facilities goes up to 1 million, and I'm sure a number of us here have accessed loan facilities via mobile phone, where you just dial *667# or *557#. And of course, we have other solutions that we can still be able to advise you at our tent at the back that are very, very relevant to our businesses. The most important thing, don't get underfinanced. Don't get overfinanced because you're not going to meet the purpose or you're going to misuse the funds that you've been given. I think those are the
Peter, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I like it when you speak because I would probably just let you continue, but you've touched a nerve and you've said mobile banking. That brings me to the digital era. It means you just touch, umeka tu hapo alafu, you can get money. And you see, Amos is seated here and he needs to tell us, how is this technology, how does it help us do better and become better entrepreneurs? Because, well, Google, again, I told you, everything is interrelated. So, Amos, your part here, because security is another thing when it comes to us getting anything online. And Google says, well, they can help us, they'll keep in the sky, they'll keep in the clouds. So, tusaidie hapa.
Awesome. That's great. So just to start with, on a typical day, there are 5.6 billion Google searches that happen online. And every day, there are 63,000 Google searches that are happening every second. Now, the key thing that you need to ask yourself, what is it then that our consumers are searching for? Remember, the customer journey normally starts with Google. Now, Google has made it much easier for businesses to be able to make their products to be seen to the general public. Remember, Google as a platform will be able to give you that audience on how you can be able to reach far and beyond. Now, to answer what, Adhiambo?
Adhiambo, yes. It is spelled with a Y, yeah.
Yes, to answer what Adhiambo said, it's quite imperative that we really do understand the importance of marketing ourselves online. I know most of us probably might be on the era of brick and mortar kind of business. By brick and mortar, I mean the kind of physical businesses that we do operate. It's opposite to online businesses, that is e-commerce platforms. Now, Google wants to make it much easier for us that how then can we be able to tap into this majority of people that do online before they come offline. Now, our research was done, and it was proven that 84% of searchers normally search online before they come offline. Now, look at this case. You might be having a shop. You might be having a business. But if 84% of people who go online to search are missing what you're offering, then essentially you are missing your customers to your competitors. Now, the key thing that you need to ask yourself, how then can you be able to tap into this 84% of searchers who go online before they come offline? Now, the key question that you need also to ask yourself, when I go online, what is it that I'm trying to search for? One, I'm trying to check on price comparison. Remember, you're not the only person in that level of business that you're operating in. When I go online, I want to check what is the price comparison from company A to company B to company C. The next thing that I want to check is the reviews. Most businesses do not really understand the importance of Google reviews. For me to be able to buy something or to subscribe to any service, I really need to check through what kind of reviews do you have. Are they negative? Are they positive? Do you comment to those reviews? Because if you do not comment to reviews, essentially it's going to lower your ranking when it comes to being considered above any other businesses online. Now, the other thing that I also want us to understand is that Google algorithms have actually changed, and they continue changing more often. Now, if you've not optimized your business, then essentially you are going to miss a lot.
That's very interesting. I was hold the thought about the algorithms because we will have to explain that a little bit. Because when you say reviews and ideas and putting it out there, what comes to mind, of course, at this point is Sharon. And it comes to mind because many people sometimes are just scared. And they do not get it like, okay, this idea, nikiweka hapa, somebody else may actually do. The other day, there's everybody who's online saying somebody stole they stole this, they did it. I'll speak for what I know. In content creation, for example, you will find almost the same show in every TV station. You'll probably find the same show on a Saturday. Who began it? Whose is it? Who's the original owner? How can they be the people who do it? And I think Sharon has got a few answers for how they can make sure we are not duplicating and how we can make this work better for us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, basically, when we're talking about intellectual property rights, you're talking about rights that the law gives you over what you create. So if you're an entrepreneur, I heard someone talking about making pads, yeah? That's an idea that they have, and then there's a product that they have. So the law says that because this person came up with this idea and this is their product, they need to be protected so that other people don't duplicate or even make money out of it, yeah? I had her also talk about this idea that a lady, I had her also talk about making juice from plums, yeah? That is another product, okay? So intellectual property will give you different rights to such kind of things. So for example, for her, probably this idea that would be a trademark for her company. So she has to register that as a trademark. She may have a patent for the process she uses to make the pads or the juice. She will get a patent out of it. And then if she has put her ideas down into a document, say a concept note, a concept paper, then copyright law also would protect her for that. Now, the Google guy talked about online, being online and all that. Nowadays, businesses have moved online. People are advertising online. People are selling online. What does that mean? You have to have an online presence, and you have to have a page. You have to have probably you have a website, probably you have a page, probably you have a YouTube channel. So everything you create and put there, intellectual property law says that you are the person at the Ambo that has the right
The name with a Y, yeah.
who uses it, how they use it, when they use it. And then you also have a right to get something out of it. So I see many entrepreneurs here. What is your product? You were told about business registration. Have you registered your businesses? And most of us register businesses and never register the trademark, okay? You have a logo, you have a trademark, you never register it. So you need to register. If you have registered a business and you have a logo, register it as a trademark.
Violet, how much does it cost? You know, money is an issue. And how much does it cost for a patent? How much does it cost for a trademark? Because
for a trademark, it's about 10,000, which is paid in stages. Because you have to do a search and see that nobody else, you're not registering somebody else's thing. I'll give you an example. There are vehicles that go to Eldoret called Molo Line. And then somebody came and started Moline. When you're going to Eldoret and you're at the stage, do you stop to think whether this is Molo Line or Moline? No. What does that mean? That these two trademarks are confusing. The person who registered the first trademark, Molo Line, was doing well. This other person wants to ride on you because they know people trust your brand. And so when they come to the stage, they see Moline, it's confusing, they get into the vehicle. That is how trademarks work. When you register it, it protects you. That was a real case, and the person sued, and they won the case. So you couldn't have Molo Line and Moline, yeah. So a trademark wants to distinguish Adhiambo's business from Sharon's, so that if you know her honey is called Adhis, and I come up with my own honey called Adas, you know, trademark says that I am trying to confuse you so that whenever you go to the market looking for her honey, you get mine. That is why it's important for you to register a trademark for your businesses. Also, how intellectual property rights help us, they help us to sell, because a lot of investors and a lot of people who want to interact with your product want to know that, one, you're the owner and you're the original creator.
Okay.
So they want that confidence so that they can put their money there and they can they can interact with you. So it helps you to sell.
Thank you very much, Violet. I'll cut you a little bit. No, not a problem. You will continue with that thought. Please take notes. Violet is telling us things that...
Sharon.
Oh, sorry. Why do I think you are Violet and the other one is... I'm so sorry about that. Patenting, trademark, mark those words, because when Google comes back, they will talk about it. But what is interesting for me that I get from all this, Henry, when I saw your presentation earlier, you had something written Boulevard Street. And I've seen boulevards in the United States of America. And how you have how you have put this together, it probably may even look like it is not something that is here. So because she talked about trademark and Moline and Mololine, I really would like you to explain what informed how you call that place a smart city, knowing very well where Butere is and how it has managed to be able to, because it's definitely Boulevard. Anybody who sees it thinks it's not here. So how did you arrive to that? And has it caused any confusions for you at all?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Miss Adhis, who I've learned she's also she's my neighbor from a place that has a very hard name. So first, the name Boulevard. So a boulevard, if you go to the US, a boulevard is a road. The way we have Kimathi Street, or we have something towers. So when you go to the US or boulevard, it's a type of a road. So when you saw from my presentation, it's on Hamptons Boulevard. So that's a road we named. So we upgraded all our roads to ST.MARK'S standards, and now we gave them names. So one of the roads is called Hamptons Boulevard. Hamptons, from Hamptons Hospital, the hospital that we built. But now, how did we come up with the name Hamptons? So our lead investor, so Mr. Mwale, he's been in the US for over 20 years. He was among the entrepreneurs who put in work and among the inventors of biometrics technologies in the early 2000s. And he got big in the US. He has a home in the Hamptons in the New York, and that's where he got the inspiration of coming back home, in Kenya, and setting up a smart city, and having facilities and infrastructure to the standards of the Hamptons in the US. So the way we designed the city to the standards that we can now call it a smart city is, so first, like I showed in my presentation, we did, you have to have an economic engine. So if you are building something, if you want to build a city, first you need to have people that are going to live there. You need to have, people who are going to afford the services in that city. And now, for you to create people who can afford services, you have to build an economic engine to give these people income so that they can come and buy products from, entrepreneurs who will be setting up shops, content creators who are going to be based there, so that people can be able to buy these services. So for us, the economic engine was the hospital, Hamptons Hospital. And so once we built that, there was demand now for nurses. Now we brought in the nurses. Now we built the hospital because there was demand for healthcare. Now we solved a problem. People don't have to go to India for treatment. So you have a hospital, you have addressed a big issue in healthcare, and you have nurses, and now you've created another demand for housing. That's now
that is really amazing, but what I wanted to get into is mostly the smart situation and whether that impacted in how it was taken. And why am I saying this? All of you seated here, it's interrelated. When you have already registered something, which is there and she's already helped you, it means you can go to the gentleman here on the far end and the lady on the far end to get funding. Once you get the funding and that thing is done, you now need to go where? Online, isn't it? Get funding, go online, and then now start doing what? Actually selling and marketing what you've already put out there. So in life, what I'm trying to say, and which I love, and everybody will be able to give a remark at the end of this, do we see how interrelated we all are in the kind of businesses we want to run? And then there's always solutions, which is why when I cut her short, I know she'll be able to say that, okay, the moment you have a problem, you can go to court and win, and we will too. So because this is supposed to be interactive, I would like to know if there is somebody who has something that they want to be addressed directly, because it's not supposed to be just one-sided. And you just need to say who you want it to go to so that as they give their remarks, they're also able to add on to something that they're doing.
Thank you. My name is Simon Kiarie, yes, from Roysambu. And yes, my passion is poultry and agriculture. But what I'm about to ask is nothing to do with poultry and agriculture. And maybe I'll just direct the questions to different speakers that we have. My first question goes to Sharon on the copyright and patenting and making sure that this is mine and it needs to be mine and it needs to pay me. So as a young person, we've had this notion that things that are done in our country end up fought rather than embraced. When I talk about that, I'll mention a few, and it's quite interesting that we are near the church, but talk about liquor. We are fighting liquor a lot. Sini kweli? Tunapiga pombe kabisa. And trust me, there is a lot of alcohol in the country. And this alcohol that is in this country is not made from this country. And that does not mean that people from this country cannot make alcohol themselves. So we are making our own, but we end up fighting it, but we end up importing more. So what are we doing about that? And how can a young person who is learning ethane and methane, na hizo vitu zote kwa chemistry, tulifunzwa mingi sana, anawezaje patent his own thing, his own commodity, and it's accepted in the market? That is as fast as it got. And also content creation. Asanteni. Content creation, again, we've seen people have some case courts You can remember there is a dance inaitwa ya Moya David, akapeleka mwingine alikuwa na dance kama yeye. Sasa kudance na kupatent. Sasa siwezi dance kapungala. I don't understand that. It's quite interesting. The second one, to Google again. You said we want to reach far and wide. And talking about far and wide, there are certain sites and there are so many websites that young people can be able to work online. Academic writing, making sure that you're selling things online and everything. But these sites, some of them are limited to other countries and other countries do not have access. How is Google working on it and how are we going to move on forward? I've been into these sites na imekuwa ni ngumu sana. And talking on the same, I know young people are making money through drop shipping. Can you please explain what drop shipping is? And how can we make money in this drop shipping? Kwa sababu iko hapa kwetu na watu wako na mamilioni kwa nyumba. Tunashangaa kunaendaje. Lastly, on taxation, there are so many money lending schemes to the bankers. And trust me you, kama kuna kitu imetupeleka CRB, ni Tala, Branch, sijui Fuliza, Hasra Fund. Kuna mtu ameenda juu Hasra Fund. So kindly explain to us, how can we now do this through the banks instead of the mobile lending apps? Mimi nalala njaa, alafu Tala iko hapa inaniambia you can get 10,000. Nitaendaje? Na nikishindwa kulipa, niko CRB. Sitapata loan kwa Cooperative. Asante.
Thank you so much. I like this. He has asked several things, and which is why I want them addressed so that I do not get somebody else asking and then we get lost in translation. There was the issue of taxation. Well, this is the last one because you've spoken about it. There's the issue of Google. I would like to begin with the one for patenting. So we pick it up from there, and then we will move forward.
Okay, thank you for that question. That's a good question. How patenting works, you patent your invention. What does invention mean? It means you have to invent something. You're not just taking somebody's something, you're inventing something new. So patent is given to a new invention that has never been done anywhere. So uwezi enda tu utengeneze busaa ile inatengenezwa Kakamega and claim to have invented it, you have packaged it in a certain way, okay? You have to create your own, have your own formula of creating your own drink, yeah? I'm sure I don't know about alcohol, I don't take alcohol, but I'm sure all those different things have a different formula for arriving at it and they taste differently. So the patent you will be given will be for your product that you have invented, that is new in the market, that has never been done before. So that process, the formula and the product, you're given a patent for it. The patent just means for 20 years. A patent term is 20 years. So for 20 years, nobody else is allowed to make that thing without your permission. It is expected that in 20 years, you can exploit that thing, get all the money you can out of it, and then after 20 years, it expires, yeah? And that's it. How a patent helps you is that if you can find an investor who believes in your product and they're willing to pour money into it, then you'll be able to sell it, you'll be able to make money out of it, yeah? When it comes to content creation, we have now moved to copyright. Copyright covers artistic things like music, like artwork, like literary works, kama vitabu and what is written, yeah? That is what copyright covers. Unlike patent, copyright doesn't say ati niko na hii idea mtu asiyaitumia, niko na idea ya kuandika kitabu about love. So nobody will ever use that idea. That is unreasonable, yeah? Because artistic things, we draw inspiration and we learn also from the things we see from other people. So for example, if you stand here with this and take a photo of the audience, you cannot say that was my idea, nobody else can ever do that. No. Yeah? What copyright protects is your particular photo. The angle, the way you put it. Nowadays, you see people even doing black and white. Tunarudi nyuma, eh? Unatengeneza photo yako, unaeka black and white. You make it in such a way it looks like it's at night when ilikuwa mchana. Those are techniques that now copyright is protecting for you. So copyright will protect your expression of an idea as opposed to an idea. A patent will protect your invention. And it has to be something new that has never done before, or an improvement of what is existing. A simple example, somebody invented a car, a manual car, yeah? They got a patent for it. And then somebody else came and invented an automatic car. That was an improvement of the manual. So they are also able to get a patent. But you today, you can't say, I've invented a car, I am calling it this. No, that's already an idea that is there, an innovation, and so you wouldn't get. So a patent, you have to get something that is very novel, very new. It has never been done before. And even if you go to register, they do a search first, and there's a worldwide database from the World Intellectual Property Organization, which can tell you at this already kwa database. It's not a new idea. So they'll do a search first and see if it's a new innovation or not.
That's really an amazing answer. I hope that answers you, because the patent of the dance he was saying was just moving sideways. And, you know, surprising people. So you can't be moving sideways.
Sorry, Adis, let me address that dance issue.
Yes, please.
You cannot copyright a dance, for example, a move. How would you prove that you are the first human being ever to come up with this move? That is not reasonable. You see, we copyright what we call choreographed moves, which is, my move may be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That is mine. Where DJ akikuwekea the same song, your move may be 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3. That's the choreography that copyright can protect for you. But you can't say, moving sideways, ama hii ya mwanambiri, ati nobody can ever use it. I've copyrighted it. No. You cannot do that.
Thank you so much for addressing that, because, again, Gen Z, everybody is on love. TikTok is nice for the movement. And I think the war came in because of, again, Google, the numbers you get and how you monetize it. That is why there was that. And we go directly to you, Amos, now, because he also asked about how to monetize and why they cannot be writing and doing some very other things that we are not allowing here. Please answer us on that.
Thanks, Edith. Just to correlate to what she's mentioned with what I want to mention, once you invent something and you patent it, and now this is a business that you want to make very known to the general public, the next thing is you want to maybe name this business A or B. But the next thing that you need to ask yourself is that a business without a sign is a sign of no business. Now, in that scenario, you really need to now start thinking about your digital signage. By digital signage, I mean having what is called a Google Business Profile page. Initially, it was called Google My Business, but nowadays it's called Google Business Profile page. By Google Business Profile page, the first thing, after you've patented what she's mentioned and you have a business and you've called it, let's say, this business, so and so, you need to have a clear photo description about what your business is all about. You need to have the opening hours, the closing hours, and the business category and where you are located. Google is very much strict on that. Now, in answering that, there's what is called fraud mitigation. You might have a Google Business Profile page which is not verified. Remember, it goes through 3 different categories. The first thing, you list a business. Once you list your business, the second thing you do is you claim. By claiming, you are authenticating ownership of that profile. But again, you might claim and the business is not verified. So if it's not verified, somebody can really come and claim ownership. Now, I want to throw this question to you guys. When you go to Google Business Profile, there's always a part that indicates suggest and edit. Have you ever seen such kind?
Yes, every time, and I wonder.
Now, Google operates this way. Any other person can go to your Google Business Profile and suggest an edit. If you do not respond to that edit within 7 working days, Google is going to assume that that suggestion is actually correct and it's going to make it into your business. Let's, for instance, I go to St.MARK'S, St.MARK'S Westland's Google Business Profile page, and I suggest that my phone number, when you call there, you get my phone number, and I change the phone number that is there, and they do not change it, it comes to me. And this is something that I experienced last year when I went to Accra, because we've been walking through the sub-Saharan Africa. And I approached KFC in Accra. Somebody was able to change the phone number. So realize that people are ordering online and somebody is just delivering from their house and giving to the customers, simply because you've not verified your business profile. And this is something I'm happy that I'm having Coop and ECOBANK here in this platform. This is something that really affects businesses. Fraudsters do tamper with your business information if you do not claim and verify. Now, to answer what you mentioned about the opportunities on how you can be able to get more advantageous on the online learnings, Google introduced what is called Google Hustle Academy. When you go online, you'll find that program. Please try as much as possible to get more information about the Google Hustle Academy. Get it right, it's not the Hustle Academy, it's Google Hustle Academy. You'll be able to get information that will be able to help you in a business. Another thing is we have boot camps whereby we can be able to train you on how you can be able to start from startup as you grow your business through the different methods, and we can be able to also advise you on the nitty-gritties that comes with Google, especially on fraud mitigation. This is something that affects a number of businesses. We've had it for a number of companies that I may not be able to mention on this platform because of confidentiality issues, but it's important that you verify and claim your business.
That is amazing, Amos. Verify, claim. When they say edit, please edit. Very interestingly, the other day when you said it happened with KFC, trust me, it is possible. Somebody can go to Wikipedia and say you were born in a certain time in a very different place, and when people check that, they actually find. Larry Mado, a colleague, one time, it was all over Twitter because somebody changed and says he eats soil. You know, and that is what you get. He eats. No, it does happen. So when you go to ECOBANK or you go to CoopBank, they wonder, you eat soil? You know, so it's very important for you to really keep it together. And when he also asked, one thing that he talked about was, do we love what we do here in Kenya? And I want this specifically to go to Henry, because people ask, how come we see other people, you're doing something else in 33 other countries in Africa, mbona tusifanye hiyo hapa, so that you can answer the gentleman about loving Kenya.
Thank you. I think...
Just use the other one. Sorry about that.
Thank you. So I think Kenyans love so much what they do. The problem comes in when there's issues. For example, he mentioned about alcohol. So I think Kenyans love so much their creations, but the issue comes in when there's counterfeits, when things like counterfeiting comes along. For instance, for us, when we started construction back in Western Kenya, we got a lot of support from the community. People are very happy seeing one of their own who went outside and came back to give back to the community. And it happens even with other brands. It's one of the reasons why companies, even sugar companies like Mumia's Sugar, did very well during those times. You hear brands like Fahari Kenya Tea. Kenyans love their tea so much, and a lot of mothers, when they go to the supermarket, they'd rather buy Fahari Kenya Tea compared to maybe a British brand. So I think Kenyans love so much their brands, but the issue comes in when counterfeiting comes on board, and that's an area that the authorities will be able to help us.
Thank you, very well answered. And because we have bankers in the house, thank you. I hope that the Gen Zs in the house, ones who are not necessarily Gen Z, they've been answered. There is opportunity. We just need to be able to tap into them. And remember, this is a 3-day event. It is a marathon, not a sprint. So we will be able actually to get to what we want to get to. And when we have bankers in the house, if we have done kila kitu hawa wamesema, usually kuna vile unaambiwa itakuwa 48 hours, itakuwa 2 weeks, ama ungoje, ama bado kuna issue. Is there a way that would really make it quicker, aside from just the online one because of fraudsters and everything? Is there a way, for example, some particular ones, because I know that the younger ones are the ones who are always complaining that hawana hiyo time ya kungojea.
Thank you. So first is to just highlight what we do as bankers. Bankers, we are highly regulated. We operate as commercial banks, highly regulated by Central Bank of Kenya. There are things we can do, there are things that we cannot do. And most of these funds that we get quick online, sometimes they are not controlled so much. So even the pricing that is there, it might seem convenient because it's instant, but the price you pay for it, eventually. Actually, most of those loans, as bankers, we wonder, how do you pay? When I give you a loan at 5%, for example, per day, how do you pay that? Because I'm just setting you up for failure. So as banks, we have facilities speaking to you at any level. We have facilities speaking to students. We have facilities speaking to individuals who are not in business. We have facilities speaking to businesses that are starting up, businesses that have been there for some time, corporates, public sector, all that. So all we need to do is to understand you. At what level are you? So that we give you something that is speaking to what you do. Banks, we don't set up our clients for failure. That's why we give money that speaks to your problem. We don't overlend you, we don't underlend. So that whatever purpose you want to use for that money, you use that money for that purpose and you make sure that you're able to pay back. We don't give money without caring how you will be able to pay back. All I know is that, yes, we do have facilities that have to be secured, but security normally is a comfort. We lend on cash flows. We lend on capacity to pay. I don't lend you money on capacity for you to fail to pay so that I can come and sell your car. That is not our business. Our business is to give you money and walk with you through that journey so that you pay us back. So most of these informal lenders, they are quick and convenient, and quickly they'll come for the asset that you offered as security. So we be a bit careful and cautious. 48 hours, a few minutes, you get the facility. Yes, it's possible. What determines that is what type of facility do you require. And not one shoe fits all.
I love that because it means we are here for 3 days, and everybody, when we walk outside there, you will know what do you qualify for. And we will hold her to her word on Sunday that, you know, perhaps some of us will have gotten something that is good for us. Well articulated, I want to be your friend at the end of this because I want to be elevated. It will be very important.
Thank you.
From another banker to another. He talked about they have been put in CRB, and he talked about the fact that sometimes they don't understand how they can benefit from what you're giving them. I know that Cooperative has something for Gen Z.
Yes, just to also go back to briefly on the lending journey is to say the lending does not start when you come to borrow. I think sometimes we wonder when someone comes and they're in a hurry. I think when it comes to lending, it should start a long time ago. It should be budgeted for. It should have started a long time ago where you say, I'm preparing to take a facility at a certain time so that it is not an urgent issue as such or an emergency, so to speak, so that you have a set date or timelines that you say you want to take a facility for this purpose and how it is going to help. So please, I think, just to alert ourselves is to say, go back and say, when do I want to borrow? Because it should not just wake up and say, I want to take a facility. So that then you're able to prepare your documents, you try to look at your turnovers, and you are good. But having said that is to say, yes, we have solutions for young people. We have, in ECOBANK, we have the Young Innovators account, and we have the business accounts that are for every sector. For the bronze, you are able to get for the starters, so to speak. The guys who are starting their businesses, they have not learned for business for a long time. Then we have the silver for those who are growing. And we have the gold for those who have been in business for long and their turnovers are big. They are doing very, very well. So we have solutions for every segment. It's for you to start working on borrowing. It's not a one day, it's a journey. Start preparing and say, at some point I will borrow. And once you do your turnovers very well, I indicated we have e-credit that you don't even need to talk to someone. A mobile loan facility, and I can guarantee you a number of you have taken these facilities here, where you can, if you're in business, the limit is up to 1 million. If you are salaried, the limit is up to 500,000. Unsecured on your mobile phone without asking someone. So let's work on our lending to say, prepare for the same. Thank you.